Niggas spent all these years on the block. Niggas spent all these years on the block and ain't got nothing to show for it. And then what a nigga do got to show, a nigga got on my own. So what I need you niggas for? Now I start to look at y'all like enemies. So in all reality, like I said, we gotta humble ourselves and we gotta come together, man. We gotta love each other. Cause that's what it's really about. Cause man, black people, if we got the strongest, we the strongest. Like in jail, nigga, on God, they separate us. It's 14 blacks to 72 Mexicans in there. And I told the police, I said, why y'all put us in there with all these Mexicans? They said because that's how it break down. Like that's how y'all can handle them.
Yeah. Snake with that person. Big shout out to SPI, Spider Loc. You know I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
Back in the black box. Think I got this focus on the camera figured out, y'all. Oh, my mama. As a matter of fact, I might just deserve for myself, by myself, one of these. Definitely probably going to eventually find more of me in the shot, but this is the one I came up with now. And yesterday when we was reacting to Damian Porter content and he was suggesting there was 3 people that he would like to address, I was extremely suspicious that I was one of them 3 people, but I was like, nah, because hit my line whenever, you know. But apparently I made the title, and not just myself, there's others, but Damian Porter wants to address me and a few others. So with no further ado, let's see what the OG Groovester has been up to.
I just want to briefly, I say briefly, we'll see how it goes, address Big Tony, cartoon, formerly Cartoon 553. His channel is Foundation Nation. Bobby Ye, PJ Watts, Crip, and Spider Loc. Bobby Ye and Spider Loc ran some content and they were discussing the 50-50 yard or what have you.
Well, actually, I reacted to Bobby Ye addressing the hypocription, cartoony Tony, Tiny T for tongue, and calling him out for being a hypocrite. And in that video, he addressed you a few times, but I did my own reaction to your video myself as well.
They was reacting to each other's video. I couldn't really figure out exactly what was going on. I saw it on Bobby Ye's channel. And, you know, Spider Loc had essentially alluded to the fact that, you know, I had said one thing about the 50-50 yard and basically was saying something else now. And Bobby Ye was saying, yelling at the computer, yelling at the screen, essentially that I need to.
Big fella, I've been letting you know, whether you were hearing me or not, it's documented quite well. All this time while you've been speaking about prison politics, there's been a group of people, my comrades, loved ones on the 4 yard, that have been very supportive of you, cheering you on for standing on what you have been standing on. And I kept announcing that to you in my reactions. I'm sure you didn't catch them all, if any. However, yeah, I was the one that announced that, yo, the people up there that's living by it, they proud of you, man. You they favorite. And I'm letting you know that they have heard a difference in your message. It's not, if you really watch my content, I didn't really take a personal position. I did express confusion, because I know when I'm listening to one thing and then it doesn't consistently express the same sentiment. I'm not a fool, but I never called you someone that was insinuating, purposely, intentionally trying to be deceptive or anything. I mean, it is what it is. There is a reason why I did you a favor upon your request and took down my reaction to you saying Jap is all bad. I just made it private. If my character is going to be called into question at any point in this, I can definitely re-upload it just to clear the air that I know what I heard on my mama. I did not twist your words.
Stand on business. Now, he's going at it with cartoons, so I wasn't really sure if he was talking about me at that point, at that time, but I believe so, that he was saying that You know, they need to stand on business. You know, a 50-50 yard is bad. How we gonna respect OGs supposed to be leaders? You know what I'm saying? When you can't even keep it real and stand on business and you know, this and that. So I just want to say, bro, that I stand on business. I stood on business on the level 4 yard. I got to the level 4 yard in 1999. I was 25 years old. I went to the worst level 4 yard in California at the time, and more than likely still is, that being High Desert State Prison, the most violent level 4 in the state of California. And I was 25 years old, having to learn and navigate prison politics and level 4 prison politics in real time. Because there's nowhere to run and hide on the prison yard. On the streets, individuals are doing certain things and they can get away with it. Come to the hood and get a DP. Just don't show up to the hood. You can move out of state, you can move out of town, you can move to another country when the heat is on you. But there on the level 4 yard, you can't move or run anywhere. You have to stand on business or you are done. I've seen some of the strongest individuals.
I'm just not understanding what this actually has to do with the conversation at hand. We're actually discussing the current climate of individuals occupying these yards, how the rules go, and how you felt about those rules was the conversation. I don't come on here discussing this shit. I ain't been in prison in so long. I really don't. I do have loved ones that are currently going through this and actively involved in pushing that line. And I know what they say. And I was just interested, the fact that you were speaking on this subject on a regular basis. I have some of my homies was in my ear cheering for what you were saying. They was loving it. Just then they stopped being so appreciative of what you said. I'm saying it. I'm saying that lightly. I'm saying that they talk like real G'd up gangbangers. They have a whole different perspective of your message. This is not really a personal thing, bro, for me.
Individuals, the most reputable dudes, get ran off of these yards in the most vicious of ways. I did essentially 25 years on a level 4 yard. 25. Most of it on a level 4 180 yard. As I've explained on the channel before, you have a level 4 180 and you have a level 4 270 yard. The 180 being the most volatile, the most violent, although both of them are extremely violent and political. And I have no smut on my name. I walk these yards level 4 for over 25 years.
Yeah, it seems like bro is having a hard time staying focused on the subject. No one is calling into question your career as a convict. This is just a simple conversation about your perspective on current politics and how they apparently adjusted when a certain name came into question and you got calls from the 107s. It's that simple, China man. All that, nobody's questioning you not being stumped down level 4 material through your career. Nobody. It's not even a subject whatsoever. You off subject, Brody.
And made it through without getting stabbed, DP, beat up, smutted out in some way or another. Called shots in some of these situations for some very admirable killers who still listened to what I had to say, knowing that I had their back, that I would die for them there on the yard. I don't believe that Spider Loc, Bobby Ye, perhaps even Big Tony has ever been to a level 4.
No, I've never professed to have been to a level 4. I certainly have not. I don't understand what that has to do with anything. I've never debated anything that you've declared to be factual about a level 4, sir. This is totally off subject. All I did was heard what you were saying about the level 4. Some people on the level 4 started communicating to me that they were proud of you. I came here, reacted to your content in support, and was letting you know, hey, you standing up for the faithful few. When you sticking to the script, it's a lonely road. And those people up there, they appreciate what you're saying. And as you continue speaking and the subjects change and your position clearly change, they have a different perspective. Like, I know I've never been to a level 4. I've never been in the NBA, but I know how to say now, they don't call travel like they used to. It's just a fact.
Tony perhaps has been to a level 4, because I do recall him saying that he had not been in prison since the 80s. Then he said that he was in Pelican Bay in 96. So perhaps he went to the prison in the 80s and paroled in 96. But if he was in Pelican Bay, more likely he was there on a level 4 yard for a little while at least. So perhaps Big Tony has been on level 4. I'm not sure. But Spider Loc got out of prison, as he said, in 1999. We were together in Centinela State Prison in 1998, me and Spider Loc on DR in Centinela State Prison. And must have been when he got out from there in 1999, he paroled and has never been back to prison.
Facts.
So he hasn't been to a level 4. He wasn't on a level 4 before he got to Centinela.
And if you listen to my content that I've spoken on this subject ever, I've never spoken from a perspective as an authority. I've never said he was wrong about anything, never challenged anything he said. All I have stated is when you were speaking a hardcore message about the uncut level 4 50-50 PC yards, the niggas that pushed that type of line were extremely proud of you. That's all I ever had to insert into this conversation. And then as you started to waver, I became confused on your position, as did they. Oh, my mama. And no, I've never been to a level 4, never have desired to be on a level 4, never have claimed to have been to a level 4.
Bobby Ye, I don't think has ever been to a level 4 prison. He's yelling at the screen.
This is why I was so in tune to what you had to say. The fact that I had been on a level 3 with you decades ago, I kind of trusted your perspective on the level 4. When you were saying anybody, and you did say anybody that ever goes to a 50-50 yard and doesn't voluntarily remove themselves within a short, limited amount of time, they are no good. When I heard you say that, because you said it as someone that I've had experience with in incarceration, I trusted it. I thought that's what it was. And I've heard others say that as well. And then when you text me and said, Jap, it's not all bad, I was confused. Those two messages do not seem to coincide one with the other, with my logic. Just facts.
Level 4, Bobby Ye. I go to a level 4, I'm staying stumped down, I'm hitting the main line, I ain't leaving my comrades behind. I've heard so many people say what they will do on a level 4.
Yeah, perhaps you did not digest my content, because I also sat here and explained how my cousin, my loved one, went to prison for the first time at 48, and he went to a bunk yard. And I think it would be preposterous for anyone to suggest he was supposed to do something to try to get up off their yard. So I never tried to speak as an authority as you did from the level 4 perspective and declare what was all good or all bad. I've never done that, big fella.
The reason I'm done with this conversation, and I know that I said that I'm done with it, and I apologize to my viewers for carrying it on. I'm certainly done after this. I just needed to get this out of my system. Because I can't go back and forth with individuals who've never been to a level 4 yard.
This is crazy how you're deflecting and causing the conversation to seem as if me, myself, I can't speak for anyone else, is debating with you about your experience or expertise on level 4 yard. That is not happening, sir. Not at all. I was merely personally reacting to, I only can imagine taking umbrage with the fact that I seem to have noticed you're no longer delivering the same message from a level 4 yard. I may have verbalized that. Now I can only imagine you taking umbrage with that. Other than that, I've never challenged anything you stated about a level 4 yard.
Talking about what they would do. if they hit the level 4 yard.
I ain't never said none of that.
I hear you. I've heard it all before. Again, I've seen some of the most reputable.
But you have been in a prison environment with me, and I was active. You were on that yard, and you were a factor on the hustle. I'm not sure of how active you were. I can't speak toward that. You wasn't in my car. It wasn't like it was a hella lot going on. But in my time on that yard, I found myself in quite a few instances of activity. Ask Stone, you say you're still in communication with Stone from what I know. Ask Cuz if you didn't really witness my whole tenure there on D Yard, as you so well remember. I don't remember the yard. Ask Baby Monster from 20 Bloods, Rolling 20s. He was also there, and he can quite clearly recall a lot of my activities that transpired on that yard. And I'm not saying anything, but me being incarcerated with you when it comes to action or violence, I have no reference. But I've never been on here trying to express the difference between my incarceration experience and yours. You trying to clarify I've never been to a level 4 is irrelevant to this conversation.
Active stomp down individuals get stomped out and ran off the yard. Head stomped in and ran off the yard. Tattoos everywhere. We're well respected in their section. Stomped out, stabbed up, and ran off the yard. So I can't go back and forth with someone who doesn't know the level 4 politics.
I don't know how any of this energy could be directed toward me when this is a brother who texts me, hey, can you do me a favor? He had the Hoovers politicking on him about a video that I did reacting to what he said. Clearly, quote, all I did was push play and let him speak for himself. I didn't even really add nothing to it. And I took it down immediately. And now you're talking about including me in. I ain't going back and forth with a. This is crazy. This is crazy. I haven't even did a back and forth with you, bro. You offended because I am currently confused as to your position because it has not remained firm. And you want to right here in front of the world attempt to deny that and justify it? Me and Bobby A didn't communicate about this. I just seen Keeper the Benji from Compton Crip do a video. He has the exact same perspective. Oh, my matter of fact, that's what we gonna do.
Who's just surmising what it is really like in there, who never stomped down on those yards, telling me to stand on it. Bro, stand on it. I did stand on it when no one was looking, when it counted. You talking about some internet stuff.
Bro, I gave you the E. I say, bro, I'm not trying to have my partner be going through no real hood politics over nothing I said on the internet. I ain't trying to challenge you to stand on nothing, bro. You probably should have made this a separate message. I don't even like my name being coupled with this vocal tone that you're utilizing. This is crazy. I didn't request you to stand on nothing. I didn't suggest that you stand on nothing. I didn't challenge you to stand on nothing at all. But I did notice your position waver.
Thinking I changed my story on the internet. I'm not about to be going back and forth about this 50-50 yard and level 4 yard as if I'm on here defending myself like I was on a 50-50 yard or something. I got to defend myself. And I paroled from a level 4. Damn the internet.
You know what? In real, I seen him try to be a man about a lot of things, but it seemed like what he probably should be saying right now is he shouldn't have been speaking on his little homie and these prison politics online. He seemingly to me, he should be more frustrated with himself than anyone else because there's no unified effort to challenge what he's saying, but there are quite a few people who seem to notice the inconsistency. I'm gonna switch it up real quick and go over to my boy Benji, Keep It a Benji, and just show, bro. I just stumbled across this last night. Like, damn, I had to go in his comments and leave a couple of emojis just showing he on point. I couldn't believe without confirming or concurring with me or someone else, he can arrive at the same conclusion. And there's no offense intended. It's just grown men being factual and logical about what. Nobody hating on nobody.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Keep It a Benji, and that's how I'm gonna keep it. Now we're gonna be speaking on this Jap5 50-50 yard, Damian Porter, and Cartoon 5 Trey. Probably gonna speak on some other names too as references and examples and so on, right? But I really want to speak on this video because this whole situation has two things in it that I strongly disagree with. And that's misleading the youth and being a strong, aggressive, wrong person. I don't agree with those type of behaviors. And mind you, we keep it a Benji on this though, right? Because it ain't about one individual. It ain't about one person. It's about the mass. It's about those who still here trying to learn. Not those who know better, but want to selective politic and shift things in their favor. But for those who's trying to learn this game and they getting caught in these trials and tribulations and want to be able to do the right thing in situations. So it ain't like I'm on here trying to get anybody to dislike Jap5, don't support him, or don't even not mess with him. Whatever you do with him, that's what you do. But we gonna keep everything a Benji. First and foremost, when it comes to the word permission, it is only one reason. It is this one main reason why everybody on this earth seeks permission. That is so that they are not subject to consequence. Permission and consequence do not go hand in hand. There is no way that you can ever be truly granted permission for anything if you're still subject to being met with consequence. Next thing, when you sign up to these streets, you are taught certain things in that handbook. And that is, make sure that you good in your hood. Make sure you good in these streets. Make sure you good in the general population. You good on the main line. And you good on that level 4 yard if that becomes a part of your journey. So the moment that a person is subject to not being 100% accepted in any of them form, any of those things, it's already said what it said. We don't have to say that a person is bad, but we definitely can't say a person is good. And the moment that his big homie told him that don't never try to go to a level 4 yard ever again, because they might not take kindly of that. At that very moment, he became not 100% good. We done broke this down in these videos multiple times. We all understand that the way things operate in these streets, that you can definitely not be good in the streets, but you can be good in your hood. You can definitely not be good on them yards and them systems beyond the walls, but you could be good in your hood. We done broke that down multiple times already, so we get that. Now, if you want to try to hide yourself on that, like, high horse yourself on that, like, hey, I'm good in my hood, but I'm not going to necessarily be good anywhere else, then that's your choice on how you want to live your life. But I believe what took place was this guy didn't give Jap5 any permission. He just tried his best to be a fair big homie and break everything down to him to his best ability and keep it real. He really gamed him up on what's in store for him based upon what choice he chooses to make, instead of him trying to dictate Jap5's campaign. Because he could have dictated his campaign, but instead he said, listen, you either do this or do that or do this and that, but just know that don't do that. Or that over there is out of the question for you moving forward. Do you know what that means? That means right now, Jap5 is definitely in a gray area. I don't care who you are. You don't have to call him bad. You don't have to say good. But if you a person who say that he ain't in the gray area, go on and jump off the cliff. Cause you are representing stupidity at its finest.
Imagine your bitch talking about you getting dressed, putting on cologne, getting fresh at 11:30 midnight, finna go out, talking about you finna go hit some corners, and she tell you, yeah, all right, go ahead, just don't bring your ass back, and you think it's cool to go.
Right? And his homie from Hoover know that. And he also knows that the moment that Jap5, if he ever, has to try to be on that level 4 yard, he's subject to being removed. And the moment that takes place, he'll be out of the gray area. He'll be deemed 100% no bueno. So even at that moment, the dude from Hoover, his big homie, he kind of put Jap in a seesaw. He put him in a kind of, he really, I want to say he was being a real big homie by breaking everything down for him and giving him the option instead of trying to dictate his show. But sometimes, as being a big homie or whatever, you do got to dictate the show and you got to help a person save theyself. Because I do believe the same way he was, advocating for Jap5 to go fulfill his rap career, I believe he also put some daggers in his real street career.
The thing is, I think it's a generation gap in those that's pushing that line and those that aren't. And the reason why somebody might tell you, go ahead, handle your candle, just be careful, because it might be a scandal if you end up back, is because they realize, shit, it's some people up there that's going to deal with you. I ain't tripping. So a lot of other people ain't tripping. I ain't going to look at you no different. It's still going to be all love, but be cautious because there's some people up there that's going to deal with it if they have an opportunity. But I don't believe that culture is going to last into the next decade or two. I believe the people who feel that way are of a certain age. And the way life goes, those people pass on and the new generation moves in. And I don't think the new generation is going to uphold this politics.
You have to focus on coolness, smoothness, your rap career, your money, your family, and talk about everything pertaining to you and what you got going on. When you take the easy way out and you choose to say, hey, I'm going to go down this path where it's more easier instead of going down this path where it's more difficult, you have to own that and move as such. Because you want people to have a humbling approach with the choice you made and respect you. So you got to have that for everybody else. You don't want to do those things and then get out here and be on the Vlad TVs and you got these sinister good grins and you just trying to have so much credit about how the fight took place.
I forgot he has so much to say in general, but he gonna directly speak on the apparent contradiction in Damian Porter's message coming up soon.
With Crip Mac, all you should say is, you know what, I did come out on top on that. Crip Mac is already running around saying it himself. All you got to do is say, shout out to Crip Mac. He got out there and did the best thing he can do. He keeping it real. He out here showing me love and keeping it real. He ain't lying about nothing. And next topic, let's keep it real, bro. You can't get no credit for doing that to Crip Mac. You just can't. Not with no real dude. Do Crip Mac gotta be subject to anything and accept what come to him because he want to disrespect people? Absolutely.
Gotta respect what this nigga's saying because he keeps trying to keep it fair business across the board. He's a good speaker because he gotta be able to say what he's saying about Crip Mac without offending Crip Mac. That's still the homie, but what he's saying is definitely true.
Understanding to why somebody want to do something to him, or if they do something to him, yeah, that's accepted. Like, I'm not saying Jap5 was wrong for what he did to Crip Mac. Do what you want to do. But at the same time, Crip Mac ain't working with a full deck, no matter how it go. And it shows in his mental and it shows in his physical. That's
shout out to the homie. You fight me. It's a beautiful world. But he's keeping it a Google on my mama.
Facts. So you don't really get no points for that like that with anybody, right? However, same with cartoon. With this street stuff, it's like a report card. You might get this grade, you might get this set in this category, this and that in this category, that in this category. But what happens is so many people want to always make it seem like they're grade A in every category on a report card. They want to make it seem like they're supreme and thorough through and through. And often that's not the case. You got to take your wins how you take your losses, and your losses how you take your wins. You got to be saying, yeah, you know, I did good on here. You know what I'm saying? I did this in the 40 meter, but you know, I didn't do good in the shot put, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's how stuff goes. And people like Cartoon have to understand that, like, yo, I got love for you, Jap5, you my son. But you chose to give people something to say. The moment, because Jap5 seemed like he's smart. So the moment he chose to go that route, he understood that he signed up to give people something to say. And we can't be mad at people for having something to say when we sign up for them to have something to say. This whole topic and situation is bigger than Jap5. It was people disrespecting their homies for being on 50-50 yards all week before Jap5 paroled. Before he became the topic on the internet, people was bashing 50-50 yards. People disrespecting Crip Mac. Bringing up another name, Munchie B. Munchie B just definitely disrespected Crip Mac for being on a 50-50 yard. And what you have to know in life is that sometimes you yourself, you might not be a person people will present something to or get at you or whatever. But you got to know that a person still feel that way about you, even if they don't bring it to your attention. If a person sitting here and you got on Air Force Ones and a person say, I don't like Air Force Ones to this person and telling him all these things and all that ugly, I don't like Air Force Ones and woo, 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 and you got Air Force Ones on yourself, he might not bring it to your attention for whatever reason that may be, but you got to know this is exactly how they feel about you. So if we put what Munchie B had to say about Crip Mac being on the 50-50 yard and put Jap5 in that situation, that's how people like Munchie B feel about these dudes on the 50-50 yard. Munchie B also said that before when they did the whole live stream with Young and Hefe, the Who's Who's and J Hood and all them things. That's where Munchie and J Hood fell out at when he told them that they shouldn't have been on the live stream politicking with a dude like J Hood because he.
How can he take that position when J Hood literally got his whole big popularity push off of Munchie B platform popularizing him, talking about the 50 and 0? That's crazy that he would be the one to say that.
He was on a 50-50 yard. They was on Young Hawk from Hoover for being on a 50-50 yard. So if it's disrespected and it's bashed, then it's disrespected and it's bashed. No matter who fits that narrative. Just like Cartoon be trying to say, you know, I don't respect the whole, you know, Jap got more money this. Jap came home to this. Jap this and that and the third. Or, you know, Jap5 talking about, oh, well, the girls don't care. Like those type of things is bad people's statements. And I ain't saying they bad people, but you are presenting yourself as a bad person based upon the way you defending these things. Like, real dudes don't care about what no woman say when it comes.
You know how easy it is to say, oh, I was wrong, I fucked up. I remember the 6 Deuces got at me like it's a so-and-so. Ain't no swoop-de-woo from 6 Deuce East Coast. I text back, put it online. I was like, nah, not yet. Then hit me back like, fuck it, cuz, do your stuff. So I posted it. Eventually, it took about weeks, maybe a month or so. The politics changed. Cuz he is from 6 Deuce East Coast. I had to get out here and correct myself on my mama. And the reason why they ran it through me initially is because we had a personal politic too. But I couldn't be mad at nobody in the public if they got at me and be like, I thought you said Cuz was from East Coast, so you thought you said Cuz was all bad. I know, Cuz I was wrong. As simple as that.
To our conduct and our status in the world, in the lifestyle. Because what a lady got her feelings ain't gonna not get a person removed from somewhere. That'll never matter. And we know that there's women out here that stand for something and don't stand for something. If she'll mess with you, you better believe that she might leave you for a person who's wronger than you. Because at the very least in this world, homie, we all have to be held accountable for what we say we are, or who we say we are. So we're going to get back to cartoon 2, because we're going to go to this Damian Porter situation, right? It's just like I'm very...
Had I been really planning on reacting to this, I would have had it queued up right here. Because all that was, he's talking his shit. But this now, get back focused to where we left off of me saying, it ain't me saying, oh, I noticed that Cuz conversation has changed. And I didn't get together with Benji. I haven't spoken to him. I didn't get together with Bobby A, who noticed a shift. The homies on the 4 yard that get at me, that noticed this shift. I didn't point it out to them. And I was just going to this for reference to show the big fella, it ain't me making up the fact that there's been a shift in your position.
Disappointed with Damian Porter. Because literally a day before he made this video, me and a homie was talking about how, like, you know, we rocking with Damian Porter on this.
The part that fucked me up, because my homie, I'm talking about East Coast Crip, Stomp Down General. Man, he went from, quoting this nigga daily, sending me clips, calling me, talking like him, loving, mimicking him, like with the little pauses. He was loving everything about it. And then he don't feel that way no more.
Internet right now, because he coming off like straightforward, and he just calling a spade, and he being standing on certain things that's right, and he's teaching for people to learn. That's also what I respected. Like, he's teaching people, like, hey, this is how it go. You know, he ain't on there running that gang bang stuff and dissing people and all that, but he is giving knowledge to anybody who wants to be a part of the lifestyle. I believe, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, a person 13 trying to be down, they can stumble across Damian Porter thing, and they will kind of get a good lesson on code of conduct. But it's like I just stated 2 minutes ago, the situation is bashed, not the person. The person get bashed second. So the fact that Damian Porter always bashed the situation, and then Jap5 happened to fit the narrative, and Damian Porter to run to the internet and start talking about how good Jap5 is when he never made a campaign about saying he was bad anyway, I couldn't even agree with that. I didn't like that.
See, that's why I might have to re-upload my video, because it makes it like I was speaking out of context. He did say Jap5 was bad, or anybody that leaves one of them yards. He made that quite clear. And I did a video about it. And just on some partner shit, he made me a request for me to take it down. I took it down. But the fact that he's taking umbrage with my commentary moving forward behooves me to perhaps make my video back available just so the conversation can be clear. I don't want any pieces to be missing.
I didn't respect that, because now Damian Porter is misleading the youth. Now he is trying to say that it's all singular, only about you being good in your hood, but everything else don't.
I didn't even go all this direct to point out how inconsistent his message had gotten. I just was following along, and as I became confused, I acknowledged it. But I didn't even go in like Benji going in.
Matter. How can somebody call your phone and get your beliefs to get changed? Just because it's 4 people on the phone, 10 people, the big homie, little homie, you're not.
Especially after you spent these 20+ years on a level 4, pushing it. Niggas listen to you up there, according to you. How do who no matter who call? I don't understand either. And with all that invested, all that skin in the game, man, I would have came out here and stood on something. I would have just had to stand on it.
How can you let friendship come over? How can you let friendship turn you fraud? A friend will never turn you fraud. A person who want to turn you fraud, he could never be your true friend. And you let friendship turn you fraud because you was standing real and authentic, thorough, through and through. But the moment people got at you, you chose to direct yourself in a certain type of way. You chose to lose all that respect for Damian Porter, his individual self, just to uplift the campaign or the community of Hoover. And I only say that it's bad because Damian Porter wasn't wrong about nothing. You know what I'm saying? If he was wrong, then I'd be like, yeah, he right. He need to correct that and check that. But that video even led more to Cartoon, you know, tooting his horn. Like he actually has been campaigning very right or accurate about these scenarios. When it's like all that just want your people to come home stuff, I never respect that because everybody wants to come home. And it's people that's not trying to go. Everybody share those feelings. Those trying to come home, some want to go home, and some trying not to go in at all. Everybody has those feelings. And that want to come home feeling is the root for every bad person when it comes to the lifestyle.
Now, that's true. Just think about want to go home before they even put the handcuffs on. That caused a lot of people, all that first 48, all these interrogations we see, all this paperwork, it's all because somebody wanted to go home.
Everybody who went to start telling, ratting, all these things people do is because they want to come home. So when a person sympathizes with somebody that they care about, that means stop politicking ever in life. That means you need to be accepted when a person tell on you tomorrow, like one of these dudes tell on Jap5 tomorrow, and I ain't saying he's doing nothing wrong, but somebody choose to lie, tell on Jap5 and something like that. Cartoon need to shut up and let that dude do what he did because that dude wanted to come home. You got to respect that because wrong is wrong. And if you're going to break the rule or bend the rule just because you want to come home, then everybody falls in that same category. It's a lot of people who went through hardship in them places that they easily could have took the easy way out.
That's what I was trying to make clear at a certain juncture, that my homies that he's describing right now that fit into that category, they were just a Google % proud of everything Damian Porter had to say on these subjects. They was just... Later on in the video that we watched at Damian, make sure y'all go check out the rest of his video. He went to say, I'm no one's hero. I'm the one that made it clear that, and that was just me talking, you know, poetically, rapper, creative. No one said that's my hero, but I was telling him, you the hero. So he must have heard. Now I'm clear. He heard what I was expressing because I'm the one that declared you as the hero. Not technically, but, you know, figuratively.
And I'm going to say this factual. With those individuals, Jap5 will always be deemed bad to those individuals. He will always be viewed as less than in that situation. To the same people as G homie was telling him, don't go back to the 4-yard because it might not be cool. To even his homies up there. And this is who Damian Porter was describing himself to be of that class. Period, point blank. If you come back up here, the guy that Damian Porter has described himself to be in regards to the 4-yard and his 20 years and all that, he's an individual that Jap5 will have to worry about if he did end up back on the 4-yard and Damian Porter was there. That's how he described himself. Just like in a room, Jap5 might have the clout in that room. He might have the most money in that room. But when it comes to that who paroled from what and who walked that journey through and through, he got a back seat in there and let this dude talk that. Because he can't do it. It's all about taking accountability. Cartoon is not advocating for accountability. He is doing deflecting. We don't need deflecting. We need accountability. Jap5 is a smart person. He know when he made that decision, he know he put himself in the gray area, and he knew he gave people something to say. You either take the hardship route and don't give a person nothing to say, and you know, whatever come with the hard time, or you don't. But we gotta be more accepting of taking accountability and what come with the choices we make. That's where I lose the respect at. I don't care about it. Who don't care about it? Jap5 only supposed to be saying that me, myself, I did what I did and I can live with it. Not know what the streets is doing, what busters do and other people got away with, not throwing everybody on the table now because the spotlight is on you. Just like cartoon, like the spotlight is on Jap. It ain't on the world. It ain't on the streets. It ain't on none of that. He put himself in that position. Let him own that. Now, if you want to bash other people because you know that they wrong and they acting tough, then I get it. Don't let nobody that you privy to that's not in good standing yourself try to bash Jap5 because they ain't got no reason to do it. But you got to know in this world, it's so many people out here that is not in good standing that they looking and they're going to always be strong on anybody who do some kind of wrong. Like Jap5 right now, he ain't got that much clout, but in a minute, he gonna have a lot of clout and people like 6ix9ine gonna start dissing him. That's just like 6ix9ine. Do anybody that come up and do something wrong on this internet and they some rapper and got all that clout, he immediately tell people, I told y'all this how wrong I wasn't. Or I wasn't the only person who break the rules. I've been showing y'all that everybody break the rules.
These are the current rules and the rules of the past, but they gonna change. I'm telling y'all. Because like you stating, niggas like Jap5 got the influence. The niggas like J Hood. And that generation is accepting them being good out here moving around amongst the wolves. Now, going up to a 4-yard in the next 10, 15 years might not be the best, safest thing. I think beyond that, motherfuckers gonna be a lot more understanding, and that politic is gonna be dismantled to a large degree.
That's where we at with everything. I've been on here long enough. I don't want to forget nothing and leave nothing out. But my main thing was just like, don't be an aggressive, wrong person. If you make the decisions and you make certain situations, decisions that put you in a gray area or put you in a bad list, own up to that and say you did that because it's something you can live with and you okay. Don't be trying to brag about how you beating people up, about how many women you screwing and how much money you got to try to hide, push that other stuff away. That's not honorable. That's not cool. Let's not switch politics based upon who's in the shoes today. Again, I'm not trying to tell people to bash Jap5 and disrespect him. But we all have to allow to let everybody be held accountable for the decisions we make.
Neither am I on no hate or bash Jap5 campaign. You know, I just be in these YouTube streets reacting to content. This subject came up. Damian Porter got himself in a twist with his homies politicking on one of their favorites. And I did my best to make it, less stressful or strenuous on him as I could. However, at this juncture, it seems as if he's classifying my reaction other than what it was. And I believe just for the sake of my own credibility, I may have to make live the video that I took down per his request. I really don't appreciate his perspective at this point. Still my partner, but humans don't agree on everything. It's just not the way things work by nature. And I just think moving forward, it will best serve me to have that content available to anybody that try to reference this saga moving forward. Gratitude is the attitude.
Like, it changed my input on gangbanging. Like, I'm from Hoover. I'm still from Hoover. I'm always going to be from over there. That's where I was born at, raised at, grew up at. Like, I can't change that. But what made me look at gangbanging different, I was like, damn, how many years am I going to be faithful to this shit and be out here doing so much shit for this gang and I ain't going to get nothing back? Like, it's like you start thinking like, damn, I'm being used. Like, I'm out here doing all this, nigga. I'm out here doing, like if I would have spent all these years in school, nigga, I'd be a brain surgeon or something.
Hey, good net hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spider Loc. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.